Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest Arc Chapter 18. And ooh boy, is this a good one. Overall, this was a pretty quick chapter, honestly. It was a quick read at the very least. But that's because there's a lot of action going on and I love every minute of it. Okay, so we last left off with Caramile, whatever her name is, basically begging Natsu and his crew to kill the Water God Dragon because he's on a rampage because of the White Mage, and they need to do something because the city's getting destroyed, and it's no good. No good. So yeah. So she's begging them to kill him because just to put him out of his misery, more or less, and Natsu doesn't care for that. Natsu basically says, hey, don't do that, and then he like grabs her shirt. He has to be talked down by Urza and the others because it's like, well, obviously Kiramile is in a lot of pain because she doesn't want him to die, but like at the same time, it's clear that he's just like, he's out of control. Something needs to be done. So basically, ultimately, they decide, okay, we just got to do what we got to do, and they basically just start fighting him, and that's where like things start getting off the wall. First of all, let me talk about the Water God Dragon. I love his design when he's in his dragon form. I love his design when he's in his human form, but I love it. I love his serpentine, like, he is a straight up, like, water dragon. Like, he is a serpentine thing. He's got some wings. I didn't think he would have wings since he is a water dragon. But I guess to some degree, that's kind of how it is. Otherwise, he'd just be a giant snake. But yeah, I love his design so freaking much. He looks so badass, and I hope that the other designs of the other 4 god dragons, are as good, because this is really good. I can picture it in color too, where it's just like all the blue accents with gold. I imagine he's got a very like black, blue, and yellowish gold coloring to him, with yellow and black accents, with blue mostly covering for his scales, with like gold horns. That's what I'm picturing anyways. I'm probably going to be very wrong if they ever like color this in, but I am loving his design overall. Second of all, let's move on to the actual fight itself. So they're going at him. Natsu comes in with his Fire Dragon King's Demolition Fist, I believe it's called. And that's not doing much. Well, at the very least, it's not doing anything yet. Water God Dragon's flailing around. And Wendy, okay, so I'm going to split this into 2 things here. 2 things. I like that she can enchant things. I'm not 100% sure about the enchanting of Urza, Gray, and Lucy to make them basically Dragon Slayers. It seems a little much. I get that they need to make them useful in this fight and going forward in the fights, but I feel like I would rather her enchant items and then have them use those rather than enchanting basically themselves. Although I guess it's a catch-all. It makes it better for them so that they could just do whatever they want and use whatever powers that they want. But I don't know. I'm still a little hesitant. Either way, I'm cool with her being an enchantress because I think it's a really cool ability for her to have. Now, going on to abilities, let's jump back to the Water God Dragon. Super cool. He is all over the place. He's not only just destructive just in his overall physical might, but his magic is Bongers. It's crazy. It is. So he basically has risen the sea up into the sky, and this is they are not, I don't know what they're gonna do to that. I could see it going a couple of ways. Maybe Gray freezes the ocean, I guess, and then Natsu and Lucy and Urza and Wendy smash it into just ice crystals, so it basically snows onto the city so that it's not so damaging. But they're in big trouble here. And I'm really glad to see that the Water God Dragon is so powerful and that they are fearful of this. Even if they theoretically could take on a normal dragon, Igneal style, or even Agnologia, or whatever, I don't think that they're prepared to fight these god dragons, the Pentadrakes, because they are just so much more powerful. And I hope that they further explain, honestly, why the Pentadrakes were not around during all of what was going on in the main story. Maybe it's because they're so powerful that they just don't care and they stayed out of the way. I don't know, but I'm hoping that they explain it a little bit more. Before I move on from this, because that's the main part of the story of this chapter, and it was a lot of action and really cool. I want to talk about when Wendy enchants Lucy, Urza, and Gray. She kind of changes their fairy tale emblems, and I like the design a lot on that. It honestly makes me wonder. So obviously each mage has their own magic and whatever, and you don't need to be in a guild to have magic, but there is a whole thing, like when on Tenro Island, when the tree gets knocked down, they all kind of lose their energy. So I'm wondering if there's certain aspects of having the emblem on you that can change how your magic works and whatnot. So if she enchants the emblem and themselves, maybe that like boosts their power or does some weird funky stuff to them specifically because they have that emblem and it has been changed in some way. I wonder if there's a connection between the emblem and their overall power in general and how it works. So even if I don't know. Anyways, so we move on from this fight and they're all just gasping. Water God Dragon's got some water above them, and not some water. Water God Dragon's basically got an ocean above them, and they don't know what they're gonna do. We move on back to Magnolia, and last time we saw Magnolia, Toka the White Mage, like the White Mage, the evil part of her, had just basically taken out or started, at least threatened to control Jalal, Gajiel, Levy, I forget who else was there, but Juvia, I can't forget about her, but she basically at least threatens that she's going to take over them, and whatever. We see what's going on now. So back at the guild hall, Toka is like sipping on some tea, and she's just doing whatever she's doing. She basically says the first sprout of black is gone or has vanished, and that's her, like, she's just sipping tea and doing whatever, and then it zooms out for the final page. She says Fairy Tale has now turned white, and she puts her hands out, and it's just the entire guild hall wrecked to some degree, at least disheveled, and everybody's on the ground or like hanging over a table or chair, and everybody's out cold basically. So I'm really excited to see how things go from here, from point A to point B. I get the feeling that after Natsu and his group kind of deal with the Water God Dragon, even if they don't defeat it, I'm sure that they'll return back to Magnolia. What's gonna happen when they finally come back and like everybody's basically a zombie? I think that's basically what's gonna happen. They're gonna come back and everybody's gonna be a little bit different. Something's gonna be off. They're gonna get introduced to Toka, because I don't think they've met actually yet, and then something's gonna be like, wait a second, this is not right. So yeah, I'm excited to see the groups getting back together and how that'll go. Overall, I enjoyed this chapter quite a bit. It was very fast paced. I thought it was super actiony and awesome, and even the part at the end with Toka, I thought that was a pretty decent ending to a chapter overall, because now I'm thinking, what's going on? How did she do that? How is she going to be stopped? So I'm excited to see everything that comes out of this. So that's all I've got to say about this chapter. I thought it was pretty freaking great. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell if you want to see more from me. That's all I got to say about this chapter. It was really, really good. I will see you guys in another video. Bye bye.